Okay, this is kind of an annoying question, and the key piece here is that we need to find a situation where there's exactly one solution. Now, there's lots of cases on the SAT where they ask about the number of solutions, and the first thing to notice is what kinds of things do you have? In this case, this is a line, and it's really important for us to be able to recognize a line. It doesn't have any exponents, it's got an x and a y, it's pretty straightforward. Now, this doesn't look like a traditional y equals mx plus b line, and we'll deal with that in a second, but if we know that it's a line, and we know that all the answer choices are lines, we can kind of think about what's going to happen and why there might be different numbers of solutions. Basically, if you have two lines, most of the time they're going to have exactly one solution, okay? So this is describing what would be like just the most common situation we would encounter. So you might need to think, okay, well, when wouldn't it have that? What are the weirdo situations? Well, it's basically all going to come down to slopes. If the two lines have the same slope, they're going to most likely be parallel, in which case they'll never cross, so they'll never have any solutions. Or they are the same line, and so they'll cross it literally every single point, and then they'll have infinitely many solutions. Now, both of those situations involve when we have the same slope. So I'm going to write that we need to have different slopes in this situation. Usually they ask it the other way. Usually they're like, okay, why would we have no solutions? Why would we have infinitely many? And there we're looking for the weird situation. Here it's a little bit backwards, but the idea is the same. We are looking for a case where the line in the choice has a different slope than the line in the original question. So first, in order to understand the slope at all, we need to get back to y equals mx plus b, because that's where we understand the slope of the line with the m portion. So I would subtract the 3x, and I would get, let's do some space here, negative 2y is equal to negative 3x plus 6, and then I would divide by negative 2, and you got to make sure that if this is a question where we care about more than the slope, you're doing it to all of the pieces, we would get y is equal to positive 3 halves x minus 3. So the part I really care about is the 3 over 2. That's my slope. That is what I'm looking for in the answer choices. So now, unfortunately, the answer choices are also written not in y equals mx plus b form. So we're going to need to kind of like deal with all that. So let's just go in order here. Choice A, negative 3x plus 2y equals 5. So I'd add the 3x to both sides, and I would get 2y is equal to 3x plus 5, divide by 2, and I would get 3 over 2, okay? So 3 over 2 is the same slope. So this is a line that has a different y-intercept, but it does have the same slope. So these would be parallel lines. This would be a case where there are no solutions. So this is not what we want here. So let's just keep going. Let's go to choice B. Okay, so 2x minus 3y is equal to 6. Subtract the 2x. We're going to get negative 3y is equal to negative 2x plus 6. Divide by negative 3. And we would do it to all the parts, but the only part I'm interested in is now I have 2/3 x as my slope. And so because 2/3 is different from 3/2, we are done. Those are different slopes. Those lines are going to go in completely different directions, and so they will cross at exactly one point, which most lines do. So that's it. I don't need to check C and D here. If you were nervous, you could, because that would allow you to maybe double check. There is a chance maybe you divided wrong, you lost a negative, something happened, but here I'm confident in my answer. B is what I would pick, and I would just move on. Remember though, it's always important when you're dealing with slopes to get back to y equals mx plus b, because that's when we see the slope. You can try to think about it when it's in this other form, but I promise you that is where your chance of a careless mistake goes way up, because the way you think about it can very easily be wrong without you noticing. So play it safe, just write it out, get back to y equals mx plus b so you can see things as clearly as possible.